There was a question posted on in the JVlog forum by Tremult. If I had 1 hour to live, and Tremult has a very interesting answer. You can read it over the forum if you like. I'll provide a link down below if you want to curious. My answer would be Tremult is if I had 1 hour to live, I would want to spend that hour if I can, adjust time and say, okay, here's the situation. Anything's possible. I'd want to have, and this may sound strange and maybe even selfish. Pardon me. I've got to stop burping in videos. I've switched to this non-alcoholic beer. What it lacks in beer, it seems to make up for in bubbles. Anyway, if I had 1 hour to live, I would spend that hour at 2:30, 2 a.m., 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. In the middle of the night in my little house here with my wife and daughter fast asleep. I don't think that we have to say goodbye. I'm not trying to say we're brag by saying we're very close or anything like that, but we are. And I think that there's not a lot of loose ends. And again, I'm not bragging. I'm just stating that the way it is. It's not like, and I don't know. I can't say it without. It's just we're close. We're close, the three of us, and in that kind of way. And I don't want them to trouble them, with watching this last hour with me, and I don't think that goodbyes are necessary under that circumstances. I think it's more painful in a way. I think it would be much better for them in that way. If it wouldn't freak them out, it probably would. I wouldn't write a note. That would freak them out to find me next one. There's a note. I write it on my board next. Oh, by the way, this is my space monster. I was just sitting here waiting for a video upload, so I drew a space monster. It kind of came out scarier than I thought. I don't like it that scary. I don't want to scare my kids, so I'm going to turn this. It's kind of a scary thing. Huh? Let's turn this into a nice smile. And maybe that's scarier. I don't know. Okay, I'm so off topic here. That's better. Yeah, that's a little better. Now it looks like a happy monster, happy space monster. It's got the stars. So I could write like a message on my whiteboard, gone for cheese. Cheese. No. You could write a serious note. I love you guys very much. Somehow I knew I was going to die if I left a note. So I wouldn't leave a note. But I might write gone for cheese. But what I would do is I would spend that last hour in the house. We live in a tiny little place. I would spend the last hour here. It may sound kind of freaky, but let me explain why. With my family while they sleep. I would sit on the bed beside my wife. I would sit on the bed beside my daughter in her room, and I would watch them sleep. And I would not necessarily count down the minutes, but I would just wait down the minutes and live down the minutes. The reason that's like that for me, why that memory is so much, I was just one of the fondest memories I have in my 48 years were the months after Emily was born, and she was very small, and we would wrap her up in a blanket. We called her a burrito baby, and in the middle of the night, my wife and I took turns when she would cry in the middle of the night. My wife and I would take turns carrying Emily to, basically comforting her when she was trying to get her back to sleep. And we had our house was a place in California, had a kind of a ranch style, expansive place in terms of all one floor, laid out. And Emily fit perfect in the crook of my arm here. In fact, I just was telling her last night, she's so big now, she's so grown up, and I would say, Emily, used to fit, your little feet would come down here and your head would rest here. And I would walk with her and hold her in my hand, in my arm like this. And she would be sitting there crying, and I could kind of sway her back and forth. She fit perfectly balanced. I had this corset, walk up and down the house, walk up, put in Emmy's room, out. Well, she slept with us, so she didn't. Her room was where her mother fed her. But we would go from our bedroom over to Emmy's room, into the office, traipse around past the living room, over by the kitchen, come back around, back into our bedroom, and just do the circuit over and over. I'd hum softly to her, and I had a little song that I'd sing to her, and seeing my daughter as she fell asleep, watching her fall asleep, and seeing my wife there sleeping in the night. My eyes were adjusted to the dark. I didn't need any lights, and that was kind of a pinnacle in my life. those moments, those nights, even though it was difficult to get up and do that, holding her and rocking her and being with her and seeing my wife asleep and knowing we were all safe inside our little house and comfortable, and watching Amy go back to sleep and returning to bed and putting her between us and the three of us, she would sleep there. She didn't look like this, but she would sleep right next to me, and my wife would be there. Jeez. So if I had that 1 hour, I'd spend that hour like that again. And then just as the clock was about to strike 3 a.m. and my time was up, I'd come back and take my place beside my wife and pass in my sleep. And no one would know better, except maybe some distant echo in my wife and daughter's mind of a lullaby sung somewhere in the night on the evening before Papa passed. That's the way I'd go. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thanks for a great question, Tremo.